You believe that the Jews run the American government.
That's not a secret, Charlie. Israel did 9/11, Charlie.
Oh, they did. Wow.
Why are we in the middle? I served. Why were we in the Middle East?
You can reject involvement in the Middle East without also believing Israel did 9/11. So if Israel did 9/11, help me understand this. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
They weren't hijackers.
Oh,
CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain to me what happened on the aircraft.
Okay, first off, what we have to understand, there's only one plane that actually crashed.
No,
okay,
there were three.
No, the building's imploded.
Okay,
if a plane's going to hit a building, why would the building fall down?
Time out. Flight 93, did it exist?
Flight 93 existed, yes.
Okay, so who tried to hijack that plane?
They sacrificed those people to make it look like Bush was targeted because they wanted to cover up Bush's involvement. He just happened to be in Texas reading a book to elementary kids, and they were reading a sign on a whiteboard
let me say
that talked about towers falling, Charlie.
Anti-Semitism.
We've been lied to since the beginning of this country. Jews, Freemasons, all of it's a satanic agenda. Israel is the synagogue of Satan. They're killing innocent people in Palestine over the guise of sovereignty. New World Order is coming, Charlie.
Guys, anti-Semitism is literally a brain cancer, as you could see.
How is this anti-Semitic, Charlie?
Okay. Explain to me, Flight 93, who was the hijacker?
They didn't have real hijackers, Charlie. They were plants.
Okay. So they got the black box. Of course, it was all just like a conspiracy.
Just like they found the passport miraculously 2 miles down from the crash site in
I'm sorry,
New York.
What?
They just happened to find one of the hijackers' passports laying on the ground 2 miles away from the crash site in New York. It just happened to be there. They just walked up and found it. They just randomly happened to find a perfectly good passport.
With that piece
Look
of
it
data.
up. Look, World War II was fought not over what everyone thought it was fought of. Every war is fought by. It is funded by the rich, the Rockefellers, all the rich, the Rothschilds.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
They funded all those.
Was Hitler bad?
I think Hitler was bad. Yes, Hitler was bad. Yes. But did the Holocaust happen? The Holocaust did happen.
How many people died?
Not 6 million.
How many?
It was not 6 million. I don't have an exact number, Charlie.
Yes.
I don't have an exact number. It wasn't.
Okay, but you
6
said
million.
it's not 6 million. You must have an alternative. How do you know it's not 6 million?
Because there wasn't even 6 million Jews in Germany.
Okay, well, I mean, you tell me. You're the expert.
The reason why Jews have been run out of 109 countries throughout history is because every time they get into a country, they try and take it over. In Nazi Germany, again, they are having transgender surgeries, underground transgender surgeries. They're promoting homosexuality in schools.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
Oh, Charlie didn't know what to say about that passport, did he? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Burn the Corporate Fiction. We're not going to focus exclusively on the Charlie Kirk psychological operation today, but we are going to obviously cover some of the developments. So that video is circulating on X. People are like, hey, maybe that debate was the one that woke Charlie Kirk up, or maybe it was the one about the Talmud, and that they believe Jesus is boiling in feces in hell and all that good stuff, which is disgusting to even say. But either way, I don't think he's even dead, obviously. And when we go to Rumble, I'm going to show you guys a video that does cast a shadow of doubt on the whole thing for sure. It's starting to look like what they did was they used a squib blood pack, and then they used AI to make the bullet wound appear. That's why people seen the black speck jump from his shirt to his neck. And that's also why a lot of eyewitnesses said that they thought he had been shot in the chest, because that's where the blood seemed to be coming from. Well, we've got a unique angle that's been pretty much scrubbed from the internet entirely. I was lucky enough to find it. I'm going to show it to you guys once we go over to Rumble here in about 45 minutes or so. But until then, let me say hi to those of you that have shown up. My dad actually may be joining us shortly. I don't know. He said he might come up and get in on this, talking about, MAGA wants to attack free speech. So yeah, you have free speech and then you have hate speech. No, you just have free speech, Pam Bondi, you psychopath, right? But of course, we know that that's the the agenda all along. Everything they do is multifaceted, but one of the many benefits to this psychological operation is they can try to stymie some of the ever-growing criticism of Israel by passing hate speech laws, right? Give some police power to stopping anti-Semitism, right? Anti-septic talk. So, all right, before we get into this stuff, let me say hi to those of you that have shown up so far. We have Dirty Ketchup was the first one here. Mojo Shop right behind him. Good to see you guys. We have Say What, Joseph Osborne, FE Nation. Good to see you. Jerry Son of Mick, all the way from Ireland, if I remember correctly. Descaled and Simplified, and Jacob Mandez. He says he's already on Rumble. Excellent. Yep, that is the spot to talk about any of this. Some of these videos I'm going to try to show on here. Yeah, if there's a big gap in the playback, or if this stream, obviously, well, you guys wouldn't even be watching it if it's not on there anymore. We're going to see if YouTube lets this stuff fly. But I have this very, very, very funny take, since that first video I showed was a debate about 9/11. Found a very hilarious take on 9/11, all sarcasm, satire, and I want to show it to you guys because since we are talking about psyops, I mean, this was one of the largest psyops and one of the most detrimental to our liberty, or what liberty we thought we had anyways, right? So check this out. It's this one here. Yep, okay. This is hilarious.
The official 9/11 narrative is that brown people are geniuses now, who coordinated the most sophisticated terror campaign ever before seen that bypassed the world's biggest defense budget and then was never able to even remotely replicate anything like it again. Honestly, I'm just impressed that people from the hidden sand village could fly airplanes at all, let alone Steph Curry half-court no-scope them into 3 really important buildings with perfect aim. That is a 9/11 miracle. And it turns out there's a lot of miracle work going on with 9/11. So let's first start with God's chosen miracle, the one. A month and a half before 9/11, this guy becomes the new owner of the Twin Towers after signing a 99-year lease for $3.2 billion. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, this guy looks very honest and trustworthy. His name is Larry Silverstein. You can't make this up. Larry did what any responsible...
Oh, lucky Larry Silverstein. And he goes into it too, just how lucky Larry was. I misspoke on the last stream. I think it was the last stream, by the way. He wasn't at a dentist appointment. He was at a dermatologist appointment. And he's been interviewed explaining how lucky he was that his wife loves him so much she convinced him to go that day, because if not, he would have perished, right? Wouldn't have made billions of dollars off the insurance. But listen to this.
Would do after buying anything. He finagled a never-before-seen insurance policy that covered the towers for double their value. His policy request was so fucking retarded that the broker had to bring together 25 different insurance lenders to give him what he asked for, making him one of the first people in American history to get terrorism insurance on a commercial building. And as we know, days later, Kamar and Pajit Allahu Alley-oop slam dunk 2 planes into the towers, reducing Larry's multi-billion-dollar investment into a pile of rubble and the biggest insurance payout in the history of the world. Sadly, Larry couldn't make it to work on 9/11 and unfortunately is still alive to this day,
roaming the earth, waiting for Satan to reclaim his soul back to the underworld.
But trust me, it's not just rich that God blesses me.
I'm sorry, Joseph Osborne says he was getting Goyim foreskin care. That's pretty good, man. Yeah, I had to share that with everyone.
Miracles with. The government gets its fair share as well. September 10th, the day before 9/11, retards at the Pentagon announced $2.7 trillion in missing funds, only to have a Tuscan Raider park a Boeing 757 directly in their accounting department the next day, 32 minutes after the second tower was hit 225 miles away. 3 buildings hit in less than an hour? Now that's a 9/11 miracle, baby. Building 7, the Twin Towers' cute little lolly sister, located 1,600 feet away from the impact site, quietly fell straight into the ground 7 hours after the Twin Towers. The news and the people that run it blamed a small office fire, but every single structural engineer ever calls that impossible.
That's what the physics shows.
Saying it was a controlled demolition.
A perfect controlled demolition of an intact building.
It is too bad engineers don't believe in miracles. Total miracle death. Now, I still have some questions, and they're questions that miracles can't quite answer. Why did Leslie Robertson, lead engineer for the Twin Towers, say that she literally designed them to withstand the impact of a Boeing 707 airplane? Until 9/11, no steel structure in history has ever collapsed due to a fire. So how the did it happen 3 times in a row in one day? Why did hundreds of survivors report explosions?
There was a heavy-duty explosion inside the lobby.
This is a big explosion.
Continuous explosions.
Floor by floor. Yeah, detonated. Take down a building. Boom, boom, boom.
Why did 3 of the plane hijackers have a U.S. Naval Air Station military base as their primary address of residence on their driver's license? Why did NIST admit they deliberately avoided searching for explosive residues in their official investigation? Why did a dozen independent researchers find thermite and explosive materials at Ground Zero? Why is it okay for this to do whiteface, but when I do blackface, it becomes this huge problem all of a sudden? Who is E-Team, and why were they a group of Israeli artists living in the towers with unrestricted access?
Yeah, yep. And then they find thermite. They find thermite all over the quote unquote crash site, right? Obviously, we know what E-Team was. E-Team was in there setting up thermite explosives for months because, again, it's got small hat fingerprints all over it. Almost every single thing that is corrupt or wrong, every single false flag, and I'm going to show you guys, I got a video, every single anti-gun law is the small hats every single time, right? And people are noticing. I mean, you cannot hate these people enough, right? You do not hate these people enough, no matter how much you hate them. Okay, they're disgusting rodents, vermin, right? All right, let's finish this.
That's leading up to 9/11. Speaking of which, who are the dancing Israelis? And why were they jailed and deported for filming and celebrating the towers collapsing?
Here were revealed as Mossad assets who were arrested after cheering and high-fiving and videotaping the crash of the airplanes into the World Trade Towers.
Why did thousands of the world's top engineers and architects form an entire organization to challenge the official 9/11 lies and narrative?
Yep. And so Captain Escaleto says that the Republicans are now canceling the Democrats. It's almost as if the world is backwards. Exactly. Yeah, well, it's the left-right play one side against the other. It's the Hegelian dialectic. You have thesis, antithesis, and then the synthesis, right, which is actually the terminology. And it's the change that they wanted the entire time. And so they play each side against the middle, right? So, and they get people to isolate themselves and label themselves, file themselves away in these neat little organizational boxes. Well, I'm a conservative Republican. I'm a moderate Democrat. I'm a blah, 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 blah. You're not any of those things, okay? Because first of all, that both the Democrats and the Republicans are just collections of oligarchs who do not represent the people's interest in any kind of way whatsoever. They all take AIPAC money, all right? They all basically swing from the schwanz of Israel, and they long have since sold us out. So we really need to just start over. We need to start anew. We need to, as Thomas Jefferson said, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants alike. And I cannot believe how these magtards, right, these MAGA people are actually cheering on the canceling of the. Now, don't get me wrong, it's disgusting, the reaction to, because they think Charlie Kirk was really killed. They do, right? They don't know the stuff we know generally. These normies, and then I don't think there is such thing as a lefty normie, but whatever passes for normal in their communist, culture there. They think it's that this happened, and they are disgusting about it, right? They're celebrating this as, the death of a husband and father of 2. Though, again, I think that entire character is fabricated. The more I've looked into it, I'm going to show you guys something real quick. This I found interesting, and I think you'll find it interesting as well. Turns out Charlie Kirk's wife had formerly worked for Donald Trump. Surprise, surprise. And she also seems to have obvious intimate ties to Israel, and also seems like she might have been a part of the Epstein ring as well. So I think you guys will find this interesting. Check this out. Got a bunch of different tabs open here. Hold on. All right.
2012 wins Miss Arizona, competes in Miss USA, a pageant owned by ... Trump. Okay, want to know something really weird? So she had said in a podcast that she had never competed in pageants and had never done any modeling before, until one day she receives an invitation in the mail to become a model and start doing pageants. And the pageants that she started doing were Miss USA pageants owned by Trump. So she modeled for Trump. She was one of Trump's pageant girls. But did you know that she was also a casting director at the same time that she was doing all of this stuff for Trump? Now, she doesn't specify on her website.
It's a casting director as well, right? And this whole thing, as Trump likes to tell you all the time, is just central casting. Okay? It's all just one big show meant to placate you or manipulate your emotions to get you to support whatever agenda, which is the New World Order agenda, that they want to implement. Right now, it's going to be against free speech. We're going to get into that in a second.
If she worked as a casting director for Trump, but around the time that she was claiming to be a casting director, she also owned a ministry that was working with the U.S. military in Romania. The area in Romania where she was operating this ministry had a bunch of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and trafficking them out of the country. These children were...
So you guys picked that up. She had an evangelical ministry in Romania, and the locals were all accusing her ministry of kidnapping their kids, right? So it's not surprising. Let's just say that.
Are being found in the UK, in Israel, and were also being sent to undisclosed private islands.
So they're being found in all the usual places, right? UK, Israel, probably Little St. James Island. Okay. And this is Charlie Kirk's wife. This is, in case you're just tuning in, this is Charlie Kirk's wife. This was her ministry that was accused of facilitating this. So, like I said, connected directly to Israel, of course, always, every single time.
Locals demanded authorities look into it, but they never did. Now, Charlie Kirk really wanted the Epstein files released, but did his wife? Prior to marrying Charlie Kirk, she was a multi-millionaire on her own. And since his passing, she's also amassed all of his wealth, plus...
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that or not there, Dad, and I'm glad to have you. How you do? So, Erika Kirk actually used to work for Donald Trump. She was the Miss Arizona winner, right? Mm-hmm. Then she ended up starting an evangelical ministry in Romania, and where her ministry was, a bunch of kids were going missing around there, and the locals were accusing her ministry of taking them. And then when the kids did turn up, guess where they turned up? They turned up in Israel, UK, and private islands. Yeah, right.
You know, she was on a Bravo reality TV show.
Yeah, she was a casting director. Central casting, right?
Well, yeah. Well, she was on this thing, and she was like set up as a date for somebody else. I don't know, this reality show. It's called something House, I forget. And he said, "Yeah, she's really hot, but she's also the kind of the religious type, you know." And it's definitely her. I'll find the clip for you if you want to show it.
Aren't they all religious, right? That's what they hide behind. The most evil people in the world hide behind this religious veil, for sure. Well, look at the Pope. Look at the Vatican. No offense to Catholics. When I criticize, because I've had some of you guys in the comments like, "Hey, man, you know, not all Catholics want to eliminate Protestants." That's not what I'm saying. The Jesuits definitely do. And the government of the Catholic Church is what I'm criticizing. Like any other government, it is abhorrent and corrupt. LJ, thank you for the super chat. He says there's no spinning space ball with curved seawater. I have to agree with you.
Leanne just sent me a thing about the Kirk assassination thing. It says another distraction for the Epstein's time.
Yeah, I've seen that. This let's see, let's finish this real quick.
An additional at least $5 million in donations. She's currently considered the most powerful woman in the United States, with MAGA fans begging her to run as vice president in 2028. Let's talk about their first date, because it was actually a job interview. Back in 2018, 2 years after Donald Trump had started working with Charlie Kirk had hosted a Turning Point USA opening event for one of the offices that they had opened. And Erika and Charlie Kirk were introduced to each other. Charlie Kirk instantly thought that she was beautiful, but thought that she was really smart. And allegedly, one of their mutuals had suggested that Charlie Kirk hire Erika. I'm assuming it was Donald Trump or someone on his team, because Donald Trump had signed on to work with Charlie Kirk, and Erika was already one of Donald Trump's employees. So it would make the most sense for Donald Trump and his team to encourage Charlie Kirk to hire Donald Trump's employees. Anyways, Charlie Kirk DM'd Erika, invited her for a job interview.
The rest of it is whatever. And she's like, oh, you're not going to be my boss. You're going to be my husband. That's what she ended up saying to him, just like any other fairy tale freaking relationship, right? So funny thing about Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump is they both showed up on the scene, like as far as politically, at around the same time. 2010, 2011 with the whole Obama birth certificate thing. And Charlie Kirk's coming on. He started on Fox Business News without any qualifications whatsoever, without any kind of background in finance or business. She was 17 years old and gets a spot on Fox Business, right? His dad's just an architect. And then they started building the brand of this political character. All right, let's see what my dad's got here.
This is Summer House. It was on the Bravo network.
Is it copyrighted?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is from, she's got an IMDb page as well.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Yeah.
Jordan's probably a virgin, so I'm setting Jordan up with my friend Erika. She's beautiful, and she happens to be religious.
She's beautiful. She's obviously religious, he said. Sound quality is not the best on this, but you can clearly see that that's her.
She's an Israeli asset, dude. She has.
I know.
Yeah. So especially since she worked for Trump. I mean,
duh. The Bravo network, wasn't that like a notoriously like a gay network though?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I thought. But yeah, anyway, this is resurfaced. It's going viral all over the place.
Yeah, so like this. This is I actually did one. I want to see what you think about this as well, because somebody in the comments asked me to elaborate. I mentioned this in passing last time you and I were on. And I said Israel, what they usually do, the small hat tactic, is to infiltrate your life and all the people closest to you. It's like the Truman Show. They actually work for Israel. And that's how they end up controlling their assets. If Charlie wasn't one of the assets himself, which I think he was, but this is how they generally work. And I had mentioned in passing, I said, that's what I think happened to Whitsitt. And I do. I think that Whitsitt, because notice as soon as he came back from the final experiment, arguing with his, saying that, hey, yeah, okay, we've seen the 24-hour sun, but I still think that, the earth is this, right?
Right.
Well, then he starts fighting with his wife, right? Immediately starts fighting with his wife, having problems at home. She accuses him of DV and all that good stuff. And I think she's probably, I mean, I have no evidence of this, but if I was to guess, and knowing the way that they usually operate, the way that his sister went missing for a period of time prior to, I think that some sort of intelligence agencies had an interest in him because of his ability to destroy physicists and everyone else, in debates, and had taken control or, planted people in his life. Of course, I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? So.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
right.
Yeah, but you know what? This has been like some of the best I told you so far. You'd figure motherfuckers would start listening,
At some point, you'd like to think so. There's this while they had us looking at the left hand. See, Charlie Kirk was the left hand, okay? They were busy still fucking the American public over with the right hand. Well, not just the American public, pretty much everyone in the world who isn't a small hat. And this is what was going on that same day while we were all focusing on
yeah. And look, with the Charlie Kirk show, it's totally took over by Jews now. Matt Walsh.
Oh, yeah, no.
Who's that? Shapiro. There's another one there too. What the hell's his name? Damn it. He's a religious guy too. He acts like he is.
That's one thing that doesn't make sense to me about this whole thing, because it's like, that's a bad look for them. I mean, you already had their character out there, why they had him do this, I have no idea. It's something that doesn't make sense, but he's out there criticizing Israel. He's out there talking about the war in Palestine. He's talking about, he had Ben Shapiro on his show just before this whole thing happened, and he asked him all the questions that you're not supposed to ask if you want to.
Shapiro looked pissed off too, boy.
He was pissed. Yeah. And so now he's going to jump in and see this. Why would they do that? It doesn't make sense to me, because if you look at it like they actually did get rid of a problem for themselves, which I think this whole thing was staged. I don't think Kirk is even Kirk. I think he was always been an actor, but just for the sake of argument, let's just entertain this for a second. And if they did remove a problem, it would make sense, because Charlie Kirk had the minds of the youth, the conservative youth all across the country. And when he starts talking about Israel, they're all listening, and they already don't like Israel as it is. They already know that we're occupied, right? The young up and coming generation, and they're largely conservative too. And
I think the Zionists thought that they had way more control over the minds of the people than they thought.
I agree with that.
Than they actually did. I think that they overestimated that people have woken up to the bullshit that's going on.
I agree with that 100%. The damage control. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and the worse they go into damage control, the worse they make themselves look. That's the whole thing. It's a spectacle and absurdity.
This Captain Escalado says Mark Zuckerberg's a reptilian.
Dude, he's something weird, boy. Something wrong with that man.
I think there's several of all of them, honestly. I do. I think, who knows? Nowadays, they might just always be AI. Who knows if Trump's even alive, right? With the whole missing finger the other day. That was AI Trump, for sure. What if they're just...
I said that was a take. You can obviously see that was a cut in the film. He might be right, though. But I just don't see Trump talking that way. He doesn't talk like that. He's a little bit more bombastic, more demonstrative, with his hands and shit. I've never seen that fucking guy talk where his hands don't flying around doing shit.
That's true. Very expressive speaker. Now check this out. This is what was going on while Charlie was, or the character that played Charlie was pretending.
Oh, no, they didn't vote against the Epstein release, did they?
Yes, they did.
I know. Yeah, what the fuck is this? One Israel, United States, one Israel?
50 states, one Israel. What is that? Well, the state of Israel just posted this on their Instagram a few hours ago. Quote, the 50 states, one Israel delegation has landed in Israel. 250 American legislators will spend the coming week in Israel and experience it as it truly is by doing this kind of thing, which I guess is required for all U.S. government officials. Okay, I just want to point out to everybody that since Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10th, the U.S. government has blocked the Epstein files release, passed an amendment that banned the Pentagon from boycotting Israel, proposed a bill from Marco Rubio to revoke passports for critics of Israel. The House also approved $650 million for Israel's missile defense. And as you just saw there, Marco Rubio visited Israel. And now, once again, there are 250 legislators in Israel at the 50 states, one Israel delegation being serenaded with Somewhere Over the Rainbow, a song known as a Project Monarch trigger for mind control MK Ultra slaves to activate them to do bidding against their will. And this is all totally normal, right?
Yeah, for sure. So look at that. The same day, imagine if they didn't have that assassination psyop to distract people, right?
Yeah.
And everybody found out that the Republicans actually are the reason that the Epstein files are not going to be released. They voted, what was it, like 51 to 49 to block them?
Yeah.
Right. And that came out just a couple hours after the Kirk shooting. And people were so mesmerized and shocked and, emotionally conflated about Kirk that nobody even noticed that happened. Right. So they're trying to keep themselves from becoming like Nepal. That's what's going on here. Right. And now you've got that broad. I know you've seen it. Did you see what Pam Bondi said on an interview here recently?
No.
I think it was today. Oh, you're going to like this. These people. And I bet you these magtards are just going to cheer right on guarantee you. Oh, hold on.
Here, I got that list if you want to, if you don't have it.
No, I have this right here. Watch, I'm gonna show this real quick. This is what she said. I believe this was today, I want to say. So today's the 15th, right? Or is it the 16th? I don't know. Hold on.
It's the 16th.
There's free speech,
so yesterday.
and then there's hate speech. And there is
especially
now,
I just saw this
happened to Charlie in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle. There's free speech, and then there's hate speech.
That's ridiculous.
And there is
so what? You're going to cuff people for what? For saying what?
Right. Oh, don't say nothing about Israel.
That's the damage control. Like you were just saying, people are waking up quickly to the problem, right? They're noticing.
Right.
And that's a huge problem for Israel. And so now Israel's trying to use this event and to pressure Donald Trump. And this broad, Pam Bondi,
she's terrible.
She's awful. Did you know as soon as she
wasn't she the AG in Florida when Epstein got in trouble?
Yes, she was. Yep, she gave him a sweetheart deal. Yeah, weird, right? How she seems to always be connected intimately to this whole Israel blackmail program. But here's the thing, though. This chick, as soon as she was appointed as AG, the very first thing she did was try to nominate her little pet sheriff, her little pet crony, Chad Cronister, and yes, his last name is actually Cronister, to be the head of the DEA. And Trump was doing it until everybody, all of the MAGA, they were somehow a little bit more awake back then than they have now fallen back to sleep, it seems. But they were like, oh, hell no, because this guy was going around and arresting people for being out during the lockdown. He was arresting people for like going to church and shit, dude. Like and she wanted to have him as the head of the DEA. She's a piece of shit. She's absolutely a piece of shit. And you better believe she's shilling for Israel. She's working for Israel right now. So I did find this right here. So the last 5 years, the whole COOF thing, right? Listen to all the people that are behind this. And I wonder if YouTube's going to get all pissy about this. We'll see. Oh,
got a couple things in the private chat for you too. I've got the court.
Telling our government to shut.
I'll check them out.
The court document for this Utah shooter guy, and the other one is a list of who voted which way in the Epstein files.
Okay, I'll pull them up while this is playing. Yeah, the last 5 years. Look at who was behind this psychological operation. The whole
Gene Simmons.
You mean Chaim Witz? That's his actual name. Chaim. Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's like Rabab Luvovich. Rabab. You have to like almost cough up a goober.
Yeah, I don't speak lizard. I can't.
In charge of the CDC that was controlling and telling our government to shut down small businesses and what they recommend for the mandates, the vaccines and Pfizer and all. At the time when COVID was being enacted, I'm going to read off the staff of who's in charge of this CDC. The director of the CDC was Rochelle Walensky, dual citizenship with Israel. She's a Jew. Deputy director of the CDC, Ann Shawalchi, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC chief of staff, Sherry Berger, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC chief medical officer, Mitchell Wolf, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC director of the Washington office. This is pertinent to the topic. We're talking about COVID, right? Yeah, this is pertinent to COVID. So I love you, Jennifer. Yeah, please. So director of the CDC of the Washington office, Jeff Resnick, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID SAR, Jeff Zaints, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID senior advisor, Andy Slavitt, dual citizenship.
So you get the idea. It's always the same people every single time, dude. Every single time. And the whole purpose of that, go ahead.
109 countries.
Oh, actually, I have that too. I pull this up. This guy actually lays it out there exactly why. So this isn't being hateful or anything. He's just saying it how it is. This is literally, yeah, it's history, right? So check this out.
For entertainment purposes.
For entertainment purposes only, and I mean they're historical facts though. Let's see. This kid lays it out.
Than 100 different times across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East? Well, the answer is actually a lot more complex than you think. I've been seeing a lot of content on social media lately that brings this topic up, so I think it's important to uncover the real truth. Jews are the group with the highest number of recorded mass expulsions. With every nation against them, or is there something we're missing here? Let's go back to one of their earliest expulsions back in ancient Rome. Jews, particularly in Rome and other Roman provinces, were known to be involved in money lending and banking. Many Jewish moneylenders were highly successful, charging high interest rates on loans. Back in late Republic Rome, a handful of big money lenders, many of them Jewish, were charging massive interest rates, sometimes up to 48% a year. When Julius Caesar, the leader of the Roman Republic, returned to Italy, he found the streets and cities crowded with homeless people. These people had been forced off the land by usurers and land monopolists. 300,000 people had to be fed daily at the public granary. Caesar saw the consequences of usury, and he knew something had to be done. From 49 to 45 BCE, Julius Caesar implemented reforms aimed at stabilizing Rome's economy. He restored property at pre-war values, granted rent remissions to struggling tenants, and distributed land to poor citizens and veterans. He also provided free housing for 80,000 families and increased soldier pay.
Most importantly, what he did, and I can't remember if he covers it or not, but he put a cap on the interest rate that they were allowed to, that the Jews were allowed to charge. And this is how long they've been at it, way back during Julius Caesar, but even all the way up to the Magna Carta. There's articles in the Magna Carta that start off with, if someone dies owing money to the Jews. It literally starts like that, with the word Jew right in it. It's in the Magna Carta. So what he did is he capped the interest rate, and he also made it so that you had to be a landowner in order to lend money, which was a huge problem for the Jews because they generally just were parasitic and didn't actually have anything invested in the country. They just leached off with usury. Mm-hmm. And so when he put that cap and that stipulation on there that you had to have land or whatever, the Jews started losing tons of money. So next thing you know, they whisper into Brutus's ear, about power and all that stuff. And then bam, had him killed. Done. Just like every other political leader, right? So let's see here. What'd you pull up here? Yeah, that goes on for about 6 minutes, but you get the idea. It's because they keep doing the same thing every single time. Mm-hmm. They are welcomed into a country. So let me pull these over to
That's why I've said that the biggest cause of anti-Semitism is Jewish behavior.
So true, though. All right, so we've got... Whoops, damn it. What's going on here? All right, so you pulled this up. We'll share this. Okay, here's a list of all the senators that voted against. My dad just sent this over. So all the senators that voted against releasing the Epstein files. So
it's an alphabetical. If you go down, it goes by who voted no and who voted yes.
Yeah, I see that. So you've got
the next category. That right there, see? Group by vote position.
Gotcha. So these are the nays down here.
And they made it careful to look divided. They made it real careful to look divided. Look, it's 51 to 49.
Yeah, I know, right? They get you the illusion that some people in government actually work for the American. Yeah, right. So John Fetterman, yeah, he voted against Elizabeth Warren, of course. Yeah, Melissa Slotkin, our scumbag senator here, commie piece of shit. Of course, Schumer, right? Obviously, calls himself the protector of Israel, even though he's an American senator. So that makes sense, right? Should be the protector of Israel when you're an American senator. What is that? That's Rand Paul. Rand Paul fucking voted against it, huh? Interesting. All that shit that he's talking all the time. Klobuchar, Amy Klobuchar, she's cunt. Blumenthal. Yeah, why don't you just go through and read these names and see how many of them our hook noses. You know what I mean? Warrants, yeah, Wyden. So who voted for it? I bet you.
Well, the four, that's the two. I think that, let's see, how does that work out? Because
you're right.
Those are the people that didn't want to release it, the yays.
Yeah, they voted. Yeah, okay, I see that now because they're the ones that are 51. So, okay, Rand Paul and Melissa Slotkin and them guys, they actually wanted to release it. That's kind of weird. Elizabeth Warren, I wonder why. But you have, let's see who we had. Tim Cotton. You've got, trying to see, Kennedy. He's kind of funny, but he's, yeah, that's interesting. Of course, he's probably on the motherfucker for sure. Interesting. All right. Would you, what's this here? Let's go over and check this out real quick. So this is a court case for, what is this? Oh, so this is the
Utah shooter. This is
his court case.
Yeah, okay. This is the case.
Knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstance. He was able to disassemble a rifle that was bolted together. Yeah,
this
and
is
then
a horseshit story. Those text messages, the Reddit thing, or what? Not Reddit. Discord, right? Discord says no, there's no such messages at all. And now people are saying, "Oh, Discord's covering up for the shooter," and it's like, no, the FBI made that shit up. It's not really there. They're so creating a patsy. You know, there's no way. There's no way. Not even the trajectory where this kid supposedly was at on the roof matches. Nothing matches. Found them. Stopped and put. And did you read that? Did you read the text messages?
No, I have not.
Oh my God! It's so it was written by AI.
Do you got them handy?
Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Shit.
Tampering with a witness, huh? Look at this. Just all of these are just fluff charges. Felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury. Victim targeting enhancement. Gotta love that Roman civil law horse shit, huh? Tampering with a witness. Oh, because he told his roommate to stay quiet. Well, then why did he text his roommate? And that's the funny thing. He texts his freaking roommate and tells him exactly where he's picking the gun up, or not exactly where he's picking up, but it tells him where he's going to leave it and all that stuff. It's absolutely asinine. I have this too. I found, which I figured just my, oh, do you got it pulled up here?
Well, I'll put it in the backstage.
Oh, okay. I got you. Let's see here. The text messages. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, barf. I'm still okay, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long till I come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I'd hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. Then interrogated.
Stop right there. How would he know that? How would he know that?
That's a good question.
How would he know that?
Unless, well, because it was on the news. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, but he stopped to watch the news. Let's get this straight. Hold on. He real quick disassembled a rifle. Okay. And somehow didn't have it with him at all coming down off the roof. And then ran over someplace and put it back together, changed clothes, put it in a box. Had time for all this and was watching the news.
Hopefully they've moved on.
Dude,
I haven't seen.
This is so fucking bullshit. This is so bullshit.
I'm with you on that. And the guy that they did arrest, that's what's funny about it. I actually pulled something up about him.
Zinn? George Zinn?
Yeah, George Zinn.
Yeah, he was at 9/11, called in a terror threat to the Utah Marathon. Just weeks after the Boston bombing, he got charged, got probation.
Yep, he's
this guy's a mess, man.
Yep, here he is. Okay, get it.
Uber Jew.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Zinn? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
There you go. This guy.
The guy that got caught, George Zinn. Check out the odds of this shit, bro. Okay. The guy that was immediately arrested after the shots were fired, and he was the first suspect that they picked up.
Conspiracy theorists out there, I don't want you going crazy, but what are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested at the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11? He saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in and reported it. Then he also called in a terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon.
They all do.
And just so happened to get arrested at Charlie Kirk's event.
I saw this movie once.
So Tess Keyser, she responded to this tweet and she says, Grok is a guy really involved in all three events like this post claims. And Grok fact checks it and goes, based on a review of multiple sources, George Zinn was a witness to the 9/11 attacks, and he described seeing planes hit the towers. He was also arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. He pled guilty to a terrorism charge and somehow magically only received probation. He was also detained and questioned as a person of interest at the Charlie Kirk assassination on September 10th, 2025, but released without charges relating to the shooting. Then Grok went on and
he's currently employed as a globe troll for the military intelligence unit, Space Force, right?
Made sure that it told you there is no credible evidence that supports claims of his involvement in 9/11's false flag, facilitating Kirk's death, or Mossad ties. The main suspect in Kirk's killing is now Tyler Robinson, and he is in custody. So I asked
said anything about Mossad
for us, and it says so. And it wouldn't give me an answer first. It said it's impossible to calculate. Well, I said use statistical probability and give me a ballpark stat on the probability of him being at all three major events. And it goes through here and it breaks it down. And we get down here to the very bottom where it combines the probability right here, combined probability. And it says it is equal to 0.705% or 5 times 10 to the power of 8. That translates to approximately 1 in 2 billion. Does all of that seem normal to you?
Another lucky small hat.
Very strange.
Oh my.
Very, very strange.
Probably escaped from Auschwitz 5 times too.
Right. Probably died 6 times. Auschwitz
6
also.
million times.
Yeah, 6 million times. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous, isn't it? That's pretty funny. And then what was it? There was this thing over in all those politicians that went over to Israel, they had to take their crosses off. Did you know that?
Oh, I know. Rubio over there humping the wall with Netanyahu. Listen, we've got to do something, man. This fucking Jew kissing bullshit, this Israel kissing bullshit. No. We have to stop it.
I highly suspect the ones that say they're not still are. They just are trying to make it look as if, you know, there's some people that aren't under control, but no, they're absolutely all under control. There's this guy, check this out. He actually, what he says is right on point. And it's similar to what you're saying. We do have to do something. If we don't do something, we're all going to be enslaved.
Worse than we are now.
Every congressman that signs the AIPAC pledge to place Israel first is a traitor. They are in violation of their oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies.
Showing my Twitter
The problem is the manner in which the Zionist state uses bribery, blackmail, and media manipulation to lie, cheat, and steal across every policy issue. We are giving the Zionists today $30,000 for every man, woman, and child in Israel, which they then turn around and use to genocide the Palestinians. Anti-Zionism is every American.
Don't you know they're our greatest ally? I mean, if they weren't killing the Palestinians, then who would?
I know, right?
Yeah.
They're our greatest ally in the Middle East. They're the only democracy in the Middle East. They're our greatest ally, blah, blah, blah.
Listen,
They all say that stupid bullshit. And I'm like, explain this alliance. What is it that Israel does for us? What is it that they do that we love them so much for? What is it? And they can't tell you.
Yeah, because they're just fucking repeating.
Yeah.
They're just regurgitating the same propaganda they've been programmed with by Hollywood their entire life. I mean, Hollywood is the most effective propaganda tool.
I got one for you. This is just breaking 4 hours ago. 71-year-old George Zinn The man who was first detained and falsely claimed to police that he had shot Charlie Kirk moments after the attack has now been charged with possession of child pornography.
Really? Well, that's
Yep.
not surprising.
Yep.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yep.
Here's that thing about Marco Rubio having to take his cross off, because they love Christians over there in Israel, by the way. They super supportive and of Christianity, you know, because they're our greatest ally after all.
Yeah, they're our greatest ally. They're wonderful.
They are, yeah.
Marco Rubio and other American leaders removed their cross yesterday during a ritual with Netanyahu and other Israeli leaders. Forced to wear a kippah and removing their cross, they did an Israeli ritual and then walked towards the Western Wall to give it a kiss. This is one of the few times that leaders have prayed with Netanyahu at the Western Wall as he kind of supervises. This comes the same day as the U.S. has introduced a bill to revoke passports of natural-born American citizens for criticizing Israel. And Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, supports this bill. This bill, by the way, was introduced by former IDF soldier and Israeli citizen who is in the U.S. Congress.
Look at that dude's wearing his IDF uniform.
I know.
I
want to fucking puke when I see that every time.
Oh, that's insane, dude.
Rubio has personally deported thousands of students in the U.S. for criticizing Israel and being part of Palestinian rallies. And now it looks like things are going even further, as natural-born American citizens, for simply making a video about Israel, can have my passport revoked for this. This is not the land of the free if I am punished for criticizing another government.
That's the whole point. It's one of the multifaceted. It's Kirk shooting, or the psyop known as Kirk shooting, was multifaceted, and this is definitely one of the angles, is to try to silence this growing, ever-growing suspicion that maybe Israel's not our greatest ally. In fact, with friends like Israel, who the fuck needs enemies?
You know, they cleaned up the entire crime scene now, and there was construction being done right there where he was sitting at.
The crime.
Have we recovered a bullet? Have we recovered a bullet? Oh, wait. I feel the story coming. One of the construction workers will find a bullet. It'll be in perfect condition with rifling that matches the rifle. I don't know. I sense this.
Do you see that we're not just attacking the MAGA's not just attacking American citizens who criticize Israel. We're actually beefed out with Ireland right now. Did you know that? Yeah. Let's see if I got this.
Listen, this fucking Trump guy is going to be a problem, man. This was the plan the whole time. You guys realize this? This was the fucking plan the whole time.
Oh, of course, yeah, because he's the hero. See, it's Albert Pike's plan, exactly what they said. So unleash the atheists, the nihilists, right? All sorts of degeneracy and all this stuff, and then we'll offer he says, then the people will demand a hero and we will supply one. It's exactly to the T what Albert Pike was talking about leading up to the Third World War, right? So, and when it comes to the Third World War, it's going to be the Zionists versus the Muslims, or at least that's what they're trying to angle it, to get it to be. And when I say Zionists, I mean the Zionist Christians, who for some reason think that Christians are duty bound to support the country of Israel, which is not Israel from the Bible, the one who struggles with God, right? It's not the Israelites. It's why they call them Israelis. They don't call them Israelites. They call them Israelis. And Israel, it's like my dad says all the time, you know what I mean? If my name was Jesus, right? Does that mean I'm Jesus from the Bible? Now all Christians have to come and kiss my feet and shit?
Right.
Yeah.
Israelites are not Israelis.
No, absolutely not.
There may be some Israelites in Israel, but the people that are of Israel are Israelis.
I think they just about wiped all them out there, Dad. No, I'm just kidding. The actual Semites over there, yeah.
Oh, I thought of that guy's name, Michael Knowles.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Oh, I can't stand him. He's so fake and annoying.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Look, so this is what now we're not just attacking anti-Semitism here in the States. We're also going after other countries who don't agree with blowing up little kids. So
everybody needs to know what America is doing to Ireland, because just 6 hours ago, things escalated even more. Just a few weeks ago, I talked about how Ireland is voting on legislation to criminalize engaging in financial transactions with illegal Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank. At the time, just a couple weeks ago, US politicians started threatening Ireland about this on X. Well, now, just a couple hours ago, Ireland stated they're moving forward with the legislation, regardless of the threats from the United States. The reason this is such a big deal is because Israel is terrified of this happening. Israel is worried that if Ireland passes this legislation, then other EU countries might also begin to pass this legislation. Building settlements, colonization, it's a business enterprise. If it's not financially feasible, Israel can't do it. Now, this is where things have escalated. This week, 25 US congressmen flew to Israel. AIPAC paid for every single one of those trips. It was 25 Republicans. Next week, it's going to be about 20 Democrats. While they're in Israel right now, these congressmen, at Netanyahu's request, are urging the Treasury Secretary to investigate and take action against Ireland for boycotting Israeli settlements. The U.S. government wants to take action against Ireland, which is a U.S. ally, because Ireland wants to end trade with Israeli settlements in the West Bank that are illegal by international law. People need to understand that regardless of how much the United States defends Israel, the EU does have the power to enforce a two-state solution because of the fact that the EU is Israel's #1 trading partner. If all of the EU banned trade with Israel to impose a two-state solution, Israel would eventually have to capitulate because it couldn't handle the financial sanctions against it. That's why they can't have Ireland start a domino effect that could cause other EU countries to do the same thing.
yeah, so and see, to me, that's just another manufactured division, just another illusion. Because look at the Clarity plans in full effect over there in Ireland, right? They're being taken over. There's not even any Irish people there anymore for the most part, or Scotland, for that matter. But yet the Irish government's going to stand up for what's right while they continue to screw their own people over. I highly doubt it. This has to be, there's some reason that they're trying to get the world to demonize them. Like, they are intentionally doing this, make no mistake. And that's the only thing that I can reconcile with the entire Charlie Kirk shooting being a psychological operation is they want people to know it's them. They want people to turn on them. Why? Why? So they can justify a bunch of new legislation that keeps people from speaking out against them, maybe, or so they can try to incite this third world war or civil war, or I'm not really sure. But one thing is for sure is they are drawing this attention on themselves intentionally. What do you think?
It sure as hell does look that way. Boy, it was awful suspicious how Netanyahu came right on and started saying, oh, these conspiracy theories about Israel having it done and this, that, and the other are completely false. It's like right off the bat. He's the first one that tweets about it. The Jerusalem Times is the first news agency to report on it. I mean, I don't know. It's like they want you to notice. They want you to see it. They're trying to get people riled up, man.
I agree. They're really for some reason, they are trying to get people to demonize them. Well, and is it so they can?
Even Starbucks refused to say Charlie Kirk's name. The little machine where you put your name in so they can call your name when your coffee's ready and shit won't even accept the name. Okay.
What?
Why? Yeah.
That's
hang on.
Super odd. Well, at least the first images of that bullet that he engraved came out. Seen that?
Okay, he didn't engrave that.
Read
oh,
it.
I see it. Israel did. Yeah, somebody. I got hit with that before too.
Israel didn't do nothing. Yep, he had the presence of mind to engrave that onto the bullet before he fired it. Right?
But here's the thing, people. Before I play this, here's what people got to get through their fucking heads. Okay, you did not know Charlie Kirk. Okay, you do not know Erika Kirk. You don't know me. You don't know Ryan. These are people that you see on a video screen. Okay? And these people that get all bent up about it like they lost a personal friend or something need to get the fuck over that. Yes, it's terrible if somebody gets shot. However, Look beyond the emotion, because that's what they want you caught up in, the emotion aspect of it. Because when you are operating from a place of pathos, logos is out the window. You need to balance it out. It's one thing to go, yes, I feel bad for that woman and her children, you know, and it's sad that somebody was shot. I mean, if you believe in the whole thing, and it's sad that somebody was shot merely for things that they say, right? However, this looks really shitty, and don't tell me it's disrespectful for me to question shit that looks wonky.
Right, especially when these people have been historically have been setting us up as psychological operations all the time. So many things turned out to not be what pretty much everything, pretty much every single major event, you know, from 9/11. I mean, go back to the US, JFK, USS Liberty, on and on and on. And it's always not what we're told it is. So yeah, absolutely. In fact, you were an idiot if you don't question this, right? You were literally
right. They have a track record. They have a track record. You know, it's just as bad as, you know, there's 5 people in a room and all of a sudden some money comes up missing. Out of all 5 of those people, one guy's got like a rap sheet for stealing shit. Who is it going to look like? You know, is it wrong to say, hey, I think it was this guy that did it? You know,
no,
based on a track record,
it'd be stupid not to.
Right.
So, you know, you'd have to be willfully ignorant and blind to it. So, what's this you pulled up here?
Anyway, this is about the Starbucks thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's wild, dude.
You want 2, honey? 2? Okay. Hi. Let me get a grande mint majesty with 2 honeys.
You're up over here, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. What else today?
Oh, that's it.
Perfect. What was the name for the order? Or actually, you need a name.
The name is Charlie Kirk.
We can't do political names, but it didn't even ask for a name to begin with, so it's gonna be $3.75, okay?
Oh, wait. Can you write the name on the cup?
The sticker won't print.
Oh, you want to write on it?
I could, but I can write Charlie.
Why can't you write the whole name?
Because it's political.
For Charlie on one and Kirk on the other.
Because it's political.
Yeah. What if the guy's name really was Charlie Kirk?
Freedom 2020 says,
you know what? Forget
red
it.
flag law equals Charlie Kirk Act. 100%.
Well, you know, the name Charlie actually means free man.
I did not know that.
The word Kirk means church.
Yeah, I think you did tell me that. Did you know that what's funny about this? So this happened right on the heels of that DeCarlos Brown stabbing that white girl, right? Well, look at that name, DeCarlos, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, right? But Brown Charlie. DeCarlos Brown. They always encode, they ritualistically encode all their stuff. So
listen, I think that was BS too. I'll tell you why.
Oh, yeah.
You know, anytime there's anything else like that, social media takes and they cut it, they blur it, they put warning stickers on it. They say, you're not allowed to post this, it's too graphic. But they didn't do that with this. They didn't do that with the girl getting stabbed on the train. In fact, they want you to see it. They want it because it's plastered every freaking where.
I showed the whole video. It looked fake as hell. You seen it last time we were on here. I got the whole video posted on X, and it looks. And then she pulls this little release, this little catch behind the partition, and then blood pours out.
Yep.
It's like, no, there was something back there that was hinged, and as soon as she pulled that thing, it dropped the hinge, right? And but there's one more thing I'm gonna show on YouTube, then we are heading to Rumble. The link is in the description. I will also put it in the chat so you guys can head over there real quick. And I'm gonna show you guys one more, because what I have to show you on Rumble is a very rare and hard to find view of Charlie's whatever you want to call it, right? And it looks like a squib. And it looks like, and people that were up front actually thought he was shot in the chest because of where the blood comes from, right? So when I show you this angle, which obviously I can't show you on YouTube, it's definitely looks fake. It looks super fake, and which means that the one that they allowed to be widely viewed is most likely doctored with artificial intelligence. But before we do get into that, I just want to show one more thing on YouTube, give people a chance to head over to the Rumble side, and then we will be going unfiltered, uncensored. So right here. This, I mean, you already know about this, Dad, but this is actually a pretty cool way to put it.
So today we're going to talk about a documentary that I just watched, which I think everybody should see. So it started off with the root cause of Pearl Harbor. Then it goes into a part that I didn't know. Then we think of all the people who oppose the Federal Reserve and what happened with them. Then it goes into this report which debunks everything that happened in Auschwitz.
That these facilities never, in fact, contained hydrogen cyanide gas.
Then we have this fellow, David Cole, in his 1992 documentary, which talks about how these holes were put in after the war.
Are those the original holes in the ceiling?
No.
They've been rebuilt?
Yes.
Okay. After the war?
After the war.
It's interesting. But someone could say they used Zyklon B. Zyklon B was a bug spray used in World War II in work camps to kill lice in clothing to combat disease. Then it gets weird when you find out there was a soccer team, a piano, a movie theater, and much more all at this camp. Then we have stuff like this, which it says don't question anything, which is kind of like 2020. And lastly, I'm going to leave it with some testimonials. Listen to this.
Were organized very well.
And this one too. These are survivors.
We had a piano put into not just a piano, a grand piano was brought
Oh,
into
you
block
poor,
one.
poor
Once
small
that
hat.
was built, that new block, the downstairs room was assigned for theater.
They said they're gonna build a movie in the camp. And the president said, "Only you must be crazy."
Had a movie theater.
Movie for us.
Like it Manzanar.
Enough becomes the truth. Lenin.
Yeah, like Manzanar. That's interesting. And see, that's another thing. Very few people actually realize that while we're sitting there crying about all these concentration camps in Germany, the United States had their own concentration camps for Japanese Americans, and they were pretty deplorable actually compared to what you see over in how the small hats had it in Germany. I mean, they had a full Olympic-sized swimming pool, movie theaters, grand piano. They were fed well. Get out of here with this dumb shit, But like Vladimir Lenin said, a lie told often enough becomes the truth. And George Bush continues, says, if you repeat it often enough, right, then people just believe it. Right? You tell a lie big enough and repeat it often enough, people believe it. And that's exactly what they do all the time. So, all right, everybody, I put the link in the chat for Rumble, and it's in the description if you don't see it in the chat. Good to see you, Sarah. What?
Okay, so here's an update. That memorial thing that Trump posted about Charlie Kirk with the Israeli flag and shit, and it says Shlomo Pearl underneath of it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it says, in Israeli slang, Shlomo Pearl describes a gullible patsy, someone so naive they fall for tricks and metaphorically disappear into them without a trace. The term comes from a Hebrew pun. Shlomo is a common name, and Pearl sounds like Peral, short for Pashut Ne'elem, meaning simply vanish. It's tied to Shlomo Pearl, a Jewish Holocaust survivor who brilliantly deceived the Nazis by posing as an Aryan, Joseph Peters, and even joined the Hitler Youth to survive, as depicted in the 1990 film Europa. But it's actually it's slang. Gullible patsy.
Gullible patsy. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, we are heading over to Rumble. So if you're still on YouTube and haven't made it over there, go ahead and head on over there. And we are going to shut YouTube down because we're going to show you some things and talk about some things that YouTube will definitely shut the channel down for. So China 19 virus says liberals hate free speech so much they killed a man over it. Tell me you're not mentally ill liberals without telling me. Who, us? Listen, dude, the only thing I hate more than the Republican Party is the Democrat Party. That's for sure.
Democulans and Republicrats, baby.
Right. Yeah, no, they're two sides. They're two legs of the same person kicking you in the nuts every 4 years, every 2 years, really. Just all the time. They're working together. They tag team and just tandem stomp your balls right in. That's how that works. So, no, we're definitely not liberals. I do think liberals are absolutely batshit crazy. They're communists, but so are a lot of extreme MAGA people as well. So then you have a bunch of normal people who are snowed over to believing that government can fix government. That's what's, yeah. Like, oh, the white hats are going to save us. Don't worry, the good billionaire is going to save us from the evil billionaires. Okay? The white hats are coming. Just trust the plan. Just trust the plan while I turn the temperature up on this stove a little higher, ever so slightly.
Government coming to save you from government. What?
Yeah, exactly. All right, we are heading over to Rumble. So see you later, YouTube.